The Gospel of Gold by G.S. Lewis. For a long time afterward, Gold knew nothing and felt nothing. There was only blackness and a weightless drifting sensation. If he had been aware of his mindless state, Gold might have actually hailed it with welcome. After days of restless pondering and spiritual warfare, here at last was the reprieve of oblivion, a pause on the road. It certainly was a long pause. Perhaps, for just a moment in time, he had slipped out into eternity, and then back again. When his consciousness returned, he recalled nothing but an inkling of the sensation. Gold's next true memory was a vision, in which he was surrounded by pitch blackness, yet somehow he could still see. Before him was a massive pile of stone and debris, stacked to at least thrice his head height. With a start, he saw that he was back in Union Cave, in the place where Spirit had confronted Silver's Steelix. The Tomb of the Phoenix, he thought, looking over the results of the explosion. But not for long. Light peeked through the cracks of the rock pile. As it shined brighter, Gold's mind flashed to the image of an egg hatching. All at once, the rocks burst apart as a tower of flames shot upward through them. It grew higher and even more intense, until nothing else could be seen in the all-consuming light. A single, melodious cry rang out from within, and Gold felt a tug on his body. From the ashes, she rises again! With a gasp, Gold sat bolt upright. He was back in his physical body, and Spirit's call had been the catalyst that woke him. The cry still lingered in his mind, but he could have sworn that he had really heard it with his ears as well. A comforting warmth came over him, such as he had not felt in days. Slowly, he picked himself off the ground, and was not surprised to discover that his leg was better. He looked up to see a berry tree growing just a few strides away, burdened with low-hanging, peach-colored fruit. He had totally overlooked it in his confrontation with the rockets, but now hunger and thirst beckoned him forward. How strange and wonderful, he thought, taking one of the larger berries in his hands. Though I've been attacked, injured, and poisoned, yet somehow I came out well and rested on the other side. I feel... Famished was how he felt. When he bit into the berry, however, something else washed over the carnal emptiness, something much more fulfilling. He felt thankful, grateful, happy to just be alive. This world was made to nurture life in abundance, he thought in passing. It takes a creative imagination to make food this good. After he had eaten the berry down to the core, Gold became aware of a rustling noise in the high branches of the tree. He looked up, and his heart leapt with joy at the sight. There, nestled at the top, rested the phoenix herself, watching over him with delight in her dancing eyes. No matter how many times he saw her, Gold wondered what Spirit could possibly see in humans that made her so affectionate towards them. For all the stories he had heard about Ho-oh being distant and aloof, keeping herself well separated from people for centuries at a time, he couldn't at all reconcile them with his own experience. You know, he said with a grin, the official Pokédex says that anyone who sees you is promised eternal happiness. Spirit's eyes smiled back at him. You certainly look happy, she replied in her clear but disembodied voice. Welcome back from your long sleep. Same to you, said Gold, then paused awkwardly as he reconsidered his words. Maybe not sleep. Sleep is correct, said Spirit gently.
"And though you were never truly alone, I am with you in earnest once more."
Perfect! I feel ready for anything! Gold hefted his walking stick heartily and straightened his back. "I'm going ahead to Azalea Town," he announced, looking back up at her. A thought occurred to him. "But what about you, Spirit? Somehow I can't imagine you just flying into town with me."
"Not in this form," she affirmed, "for that place is now overrun with men who would attack and capture me if they could."
At this, Gold's spirits fell considerably. He had been in a somewhat euphoric state for the last few minutes, but now he suddenly remembered the true state of the world. There were structures like the Johto League, a once moderate organization that had since become a glorified coliseum. There were its desensitized donors, whose demand for gladiators continued to ramp up the intensity every year. There were whisperers like Silver who egged it on in anticipation of the eventual breaking point. And there were people like Team Rocket who did not need evil to sneak up on them, for they had embraced it outright. Gold recalled the pink things carried under the arms of Rocket Tom, and another image asserted itself in his mind. A slowpoke waddles its way gradually into a distant cave pool, but where is its tail? Under his arms. Gold's mouth went dry as his mind connected the dots. He had always known Team Rocket for thieves. The idea that they were butchers of still living creatures was almost too cruel to consider. Then again, Proton had shown no hesitation in ordering Coughing to suffocate him to death. These were wicked, dangerous men. "I have to warn the people in town about Team Rocket," Gold said resolutely, tightening the grip on his walking stick. "What will you do?"
"Team Rocket lied about clearing a path through Union Cave. It is why they never found my body."
Spirit spread her wings and lifted off of her perch.
"But I will make a path for the people to get through. Go your way boldly, for I am not far off."